So now begins the first step where we actually started to screw up when we were doing these things for the first couple of times. And part of the reason we screwed up is that there is so much different documentation as to what to do here. We ended up just finding the documentation at Amazon, and after having tried seriously a dozen different things, this is the best place to be. This website, we'll put it in the notes. Yeah, I'm not going to read that to you. You can take a look at that. Copy that, and that's what you're going to want to follow along and enter in commands from there. And we are, as I said, setting up the server. So the server is kind of blank, and we now want to put basic things on there, Apache, PHP, stuff that, again, I'm still not really sure what it is, but I know that it allows you to do what you want to do. So the first thing is log in as EC2 user. And that is for any of those EC2 instances. You've got that. Oh, you're in. The first thing to do is just update the server, and you'll see at this documentation they will tell you exactly that. So let me just walk you through how this is set up over here at the Amazon documentation. So on the left, this shows you what your screen will look like. The EC2 user in brackets with the money sign. And if you go back over to our PuTTY, that's what you're seeing here, just with the different IP. And then to the right of it is what you want to enter. So you copy it, and to then paste things in here, you just right-click. You right-click with your mouse after you've copied something. That's it, and then you press enter. And so that's going to run through everything, and we just kind of wait that out. So this is just the basic updates, I guess, something like that. Okay, so that first step is completed, and we're just basically going line for line here with this documentation. So you just copy that, and you're going to come over here and you're going to right-click. I'm going to add one thing in here, and this is if you want to do WordPress, and I'm assuming it's probably if you want to do other things that involve images. You want to, right at this step, you could do it at any step, but it just makes sense to do it right here. You want to go sudo yum install php 56-gd. The 5.6 refers to the version number, and we just installed PHP 5.6, and this allows you to properly upload images and edit them at WordPress. If you're not in WordPress, or this is not the reason why you're watching this video, you might not need this step. But I know for us, this was like a 5-hour afternoon dive to understand why images were not working at WordPress. This solved it. And then you press Y there. Nice. So that was the only deviation we have from these Amazon steps. Let's get back on track with those with number 4 here, the starting of the Apache server. We missed the T there. Nice, we got the T. And again, if there's any confusion here, when you see this starting HTTPD down here on the Amazon instructions, that's just showing you what you're going to see. So you only want to copy that sudo service HTTPD start. And so we see that what we're seeing in our PuTTY corresponds to what we see over here in the documentation. We're good to go. We continue to follow these steps. We're getting all okays. Some of these steps, as you do this more and more, you realize you don't really need to do them, you're not installing anything, you're just testing something, and that's what we're doing here. It's a good practice to just make sure that everything is online with the way Amazon said it should be, and we are. And then here's really the first big test, is that we're going to go back over to our EC2 dashboard, and we're going to go to the public DNS. We copy that, we throw it into the browser, and if we've done things correctly, we should be seeing something here, and we do. We see this Amazon Linux AMI test page. So thus far, we're doing things properly. And then, well, hold on, let's see, what are we doing here? Yeah, so this is kind of, hold on, this, I don't even think that we need to do this step. Yeah, this was just like another check. The LS just like checks what you've done most recently. So this is another one of those checks. Kind of forgot some of these because I've skipped some of these steps down on my newer instance creations. But again, we're seeing that it corresponds, so we're in good shape. Now we're setting file permissions, which if you don't do this stuff, it can be very frustrating later on down the road when you're trying to make changes and you can't make them because of the permissions. And you might notice there that there's not any really gratifying thing when you enter this stuff. You're not seeing the download, you're not seeing the complete. You just make sure you enter it and you trust that it works. We'll actually test that it works, but you're not going to see any confirmation message. And this is where we go and test it. We're going to exit out of PuTTY, and then we'll go back in. We'll reconnect the instance the same way that we did before. So we come back over here to PuTTY, and we go and get our IP address. Back over there, the EC2 instance, paste that in, then go to the SSH AUTH, authenticate, get that PPK file in there, and we're back where we started. And we remember how to do this, right? EC2-user, enter, and then we're right back to this Amazon documentation. So we throw this in. This is just another test to make sure that what we've done is correct. And we see underneath it the EC2 user wheel www. That's what we're supposed to see. Excellent. We continue to just follow in lockstep some more permission alterations. The chown stuff is always about permissions. Step 5, same thing. And in this step, we've got 2 steps to it. Do both of those. And then one more step here as it relates to the permissions. Still not seeing any confirmation message. You should not be. And then we're going to see if the PHP stuff is working. So we're going to throw in a PHP command, and then we're going to go and test it over at our public DNS. So you'll see here, step 2 is just you go and get your public DNS, and then you add that PHP info. This copying isn't going to really work. Oh yeah, okay. Nice, we still have that up. See, that's John doing some serious work. Love it. Oh, and it works. I was fearful that that wasn't going to work. It does work. I've never even scrolled down on this before. I've only ever been right at the top where we've got the PHP. Boom, it's working. And then this is something we actually want to delete. That's the rm command, is the remove. And so we're taken care of there. And a few more steps here. Just this top, this sudo service mysqld start. We've got that. and then we want to run this installation. This is the SQL or SQL. I don't know what MySQL. I think that's what maybe people call it. Anyway, enter the password. We don't have a password yet, so you just press enter at this stage. But you do want to set a password, so you press Y. And then you set your password, whatever you want it to be, and make sure to document this somewhere. I have absolutely made the mistake where I've forgotten this password, and there's probably a way to retrieve it, but it is not nearly as easy as normal password retrieval. So make sure you remember this. And you're not going to see any indication. You're not going to be able to see the number of digits. I mean, we just typed in a password there, and you can see that the green cursor did not move at all. We press enter. We retype that password. And there we go. Success. We've documented that password somewhere else. We're good to go. And now we're right back in order with the Amazon steps. You're just pressing Y at all of these. Okay, nice. We're through that. You now see these optional steps. And if you actually read this, there are times where I never read this, so I just copied it. We don't need to stop this because we plan on continuing to the next step. Maybe you do not plan on continuing, but if you're going to go to the next video, you don't need to run these optionals. This sudo check config, yeah, I always throw that one in there. Seems to be something I would want with the server, that the SQL just automatically starts on every boot. So we throw that one in there. And that's it for the first half. You have now set up the server. We're now going to get WordPress on that server.